ticketfm.com. Brought to you by Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. This is On the Block with Strick and Nate.
A very happy Monday to you. We are in high spirits. It's a great day to be a Husker. It's a great day to be a college football fan as well. My name's Nate Brennan. He's the Husker Hall of Famer, 9-year NBA vet Eric Strickland. You're listening to On the Block, 93.7 The Ticket, 402-464-5685, Honda of Lincoln Hotline, Starter Heyman text line. As always, we want to hear from you. You can also check us out on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. That's the Starter Heyman Jewelers video stream. We want to hear from you. We want to like, we want to subscribe, we want to share. Anything that you can offer on any of the streams, we greatly appreciate it. It is Monday, so unfortunately, Mary Ellen's is closed. But
it's still,
luckily for you,
food for the
soul. I was going to say, luckily for you, it's still food for the soul.
Still food for the soul.
If you don't have lunch plans for later on this week, go ahead and put Mary Ellen to the top of your list. They will not disappoint. Again, 402-464-5685, Starter Heyman text line, Honda of Lincoln Hotline. Let's hear from you guys because, Strick, great news all around. Nebraska,
a lot of news, period.
A lot. Nebraska basketball wins. Nebraska women defeat Maryland for the first time in program history. Now have votes to be ranked again. And on top of that, my Horned Frogs are in the playoff despite losing. So I think that deserves
boom
shakalaka all the way
and
around.
I think we should talk about that at some point.
We will.
That in itself is an interesting thing for me. And Alabama fans are seething right now.
Oh,
they thought they were gonna they were probably fist pumping the minute that
we did it. Well, you see Nick Saban, of course, went on air and had his whole spiel about making the playoff, and nothing warms my heart more than to see Nick Saban upset. So that was great to see. Eric says, if Nate is ever the smartest person in any given place, Lord help us all. Well, for what it's worth, I was the smartest person in the room on Friday because I said I had a weird feeling about Kansas State. TCU did push them to overtime, and they still made the playoffs. So we'll get into all of that later on the show. Brian Munson's going to join us. Talk a lot about transfer portal, recruiting.
It's so many in the portal.
So
oh,
much
my God.
To talk about. Brian Munson will break it all down. Clester Johnson also going to join us. Maybe we can get a little wink, learn a little bit more about what's going on.
We'll see what's out there because Keegan Johnson.
Yeah, we'll see what's out there. We'll talk about TCU making the playoff, all that great stuff. Again, 402-464-5685. We want to hear from you guys. Strick, let's talk about it. Nebraska, despite all odds, they will defeat Creighton, and not only defeat them pretty handsomely. I mean, in that second half, really pulled away, ended up winning 63-53. Creighton didn't shoot great from the three-point line, 10 for 40, 25%. Neither did Nebraska, but I think the storyline here is you talk about the rebounding battle. We talk about last year how a lot of the times they would lose it. Nebraska, 42 rebounds to Creighton's 37. And not only were they rebounding the ball, I would say, Strick, I mean, there were some times they were physical in the paint rebounds. I mean, these weren't just ones ricocheting far off the glass. I mean, they were it was bully ball down there sometimes for Derek Walker, and he ends up as the high point scorer with 22. Griesel has a double-double, close to a triple-double if you include assists. Just overall a solid game for Nebraska, Strick. So break it down for me. What's the good, and then what are some of the things we need to improve on?
Some of the things that we've talked about here on the block is one of the things we wanted to see was progression.
Yes.
Growth. Their learning curve continuing to get better. And in throughout all of the games as they progress up and as they got into tougher and tougher competition. We talked about how these earlier games were going to be kind of like benchmarkers,
right,
for them in their growth in preparation.
And there was going to be a learning curve. Lots of new guys. Yeah.
So one of the things I liked about it and that I see, because I don't just watch the game, I actually look at the minute little details, these little small, minute things
that only you can really see as a former NBA player. Right.
So some of that would be like this. Them putting bodies on people and actually seeking out to find a body. That was a progressive thing because I had seen games, not only last year, but earlier in the season where there was some watching and guys weak side would end up securing offensive rebounds against them, right? I saw that. The domination in the paint is something that they would have needed in this game.
Yes.
Because this team scores a lot of different points, almost 80, I think it was like almost 83 a game. So they needed to not only be poised, slow it down, take care of the ball, only 10 turnovers. Like, again, a lot of 3 of those or so were just unforced turnovers. They got to eliminate those unforced turnovers.
Still, 10's a good number.
But 10's a great number for them, right? And then the other thing that they've got to do better on, because it's not always going to work out this way, is the free throws. They can't continue to shoot under 65% from the free throw line, because these games are going to get tougher and it's going to come down to the end, and they've got to make the free throws. But other than that, great showing. And I think the one that doesn't show up, because you talk about Greasel and you talk about Walker, but one of the things that don't show up is Juwan Gary.
Yes.
And they found something with him. And what I love about his progression is he's not just standing there. He's understanding the game plan too. They're turning their backs. They're looking for that weak side action. And Gary's cutting, and he's slicing, and he's dicing, and he's banging on people's heads. And I love that, because that's where a good strength for him is. It keeps him around the bucket. It gives him an opportunity for offensive rebounds. And that's where a strong part of his game is, and he can be effective there.
And it's interesting, Strick, you talk about points in the paint and the physicality and all that. A crazy stat, Nebraska, 46 points in the paint, Creighton only 16. And what's so crazy about that to me is that Creighton is the bigger team. I mean, straight up, Creighton is the bigger team. They certainly weren't the most physical. And I think
Kalkbrenner is one of the best shot block guys, rim protectors in the country.
Right. And I look at a game like this and I have one concern. I'm not sure if it's sustainable to hold a team to 25% from the 3-point line. Don't get me wrong. There were a lot of times that Nebraska was contesting the 3-point shot, getting up in their face, getting up in their grill. There were also some shots for Creighton that they should have hit. That's probably my biggest concern. I don't know if it's sustainable to shoot 25% from 3. On the flip side of that physicality, if Nebraska's going to play that physical, they're going to have success in the Big Ten. Simply put, if you're scoring 46 points in the paint and you're playing a physical brand of basketball, because that's the thing too, is even when Nebraska's shots weren't going down, like you said, Strick, they were putting bodies on people. They were hustling for loose balls. Those kind of things are what we didn't see last year.
Exactly.
And those kind of things are what turn a 5-point loss into a 5-point win.
Fact.
So I think there's two sides of it, but I think that there's good to build off of. I worry about a team shooting that poorly moving forward.
No, but that's the thing, and that's okay.
Right.
Because if you're able to win that way, that shows that you're able to grind it out.
Which they did.
And
they did.
That's an important
Absolutely.
piece to have as a team, is to be able to grind out games. And that's what it comes down to when people say it's a W is a W. It win ugly. It doesn't matter how good you win or how good you shoot. If you win, it doesn't matter if you win ugly or win pretty. Win. And that's what it looked like. That was the ultimate goal for them. And when it comes down in the late parts of the game, when Creighton ratcheted up, yes, they had a turnover that CJ Wilcher had. That was a bad turnover on.
They went on a little bit of run when Shireman hit that 3.
Yeah. You began to work, but I was sitting there and I didn't get worried like I have in the past. Like I'm worried because I was watching their body language and they were poised. Like they knew they had kudos to Fred Hoiberg, Coach Hoiberg, and the crew, because they had them prepared and nothing looked hard for them, difficult for them. They got what they wanted. I loved how Greasel is learning. to
He
get
looked
the
like a
guys.
different basketball player.
Yes.
I mean, he showed
He
up.
got them into the places that they wanted to be, where they were taking advantage of it, of mismatch situations, or him getting into the post. He was waiting on Derek. He was telling Derek, see, this is some point guard type stuff that I didn't know if Greasel could get there. But I'm watching him, and he's like, wait, Derek, wait. He's telling him to wait. He's backing him down. And I'm yelling from the bench, and I'm not coaching, but I'm yelling. I'm like, turn the corner, because he was in a place where he was putting them at an absolute disadvantage by getting them that low into that about 14-foot range.
And he did it a few times.
Yes, yeah. And he turns the corner. He paused. He hesitated. Oh, they're not coming. Strong to the right hand finish. And that's good point guard play. 7 assists to only 2 turnovers when he's been averaging 4. So that's another tremendous stat for him as well.
Another thing, too,
almost a triple-double.
Almost a triple-double. Another thing, too, I look at this second half, they shot 51% from the field. So they're getting
last week they did that too. 61 to 65. They've been increasing. Go ahead.
Good looks, because that's the thing, too, and I hate bringing up last season, because I think it's a completely different team. Even on the floor, they look like a different team playing together. But there were a lot of times we saw some bad shots. There were some late in the game. Let's panic. Maybe a bad shot or two. Under every single run that Creighton had, they were still highly efficient looks, and they were taking it into the paint. And they were getting those those efficient looks, and that was definitely good to see. Strick, before we go to break, I want to ask you this. What do you think of the ceiling of this team? Does this change your opinion at all, or do you still want to see kind of against Indiana, against Purdue? Because now, for what it's worth, Indiana got smoked by Rutgers. Indiana is beatable. Now, Purdue still looks like one of the best teams in the country. They will come to Lincoln and play at PBA next Saturday, or I guess technically this Saturday. Does this change your look on the season at all, or do we still maybe need to pump the brakes a little bit?
So for me, I saw what I needed to see earlier in the season, and for me, I just wanted to see progression going forward from there. I knew this game, and we talked about it, this game was very reminiscent of the NC State game last year, in the same point, the same time, and from that point, that loss just sent them on a downhill road. I think that quality of a win can send them on a potential upward trajectory. And so the thing that they did against Creighton is what I loved, is that they understood that this team is going to run opportunities. You've got to take care of the ball, or they're going to turn it into easy points and opportunities. That's what they want to do. That's how they want to beat you. And you've got to be disciplined. And they were disciplined in every way, on every aspect of the defensive and the offensive side. Now, the last thing, I think that this is going to help this team. I said if they can win one,
maybe two,
right. This is going to put
one
them
out of the next 3, just one.
Yeah, and I think they're going to understand what it means to put on that type of effort. I think they're going to understand what it means to take care of business when you either hit the road, especially when you're at home. And I think they're going to learn from that, and they're going to like the feeling. Whenever you have that type of feeling after getting that type of monkey off your back, it's like you can blow it out, woosah, and go on for the next goals.
And another thing, too, you got to think about the fan base and all this. I know you can speak on this, Strick. I mean, when the Devaney was popping, I mean, you were taking your game to the next level, and I just look forward to this Purdue game and how this season shaped out. There's optimism. There's hope. I mean, in this team, and I'm not going to say tournament team or anything like that. I don't want to get ahead of ourselves, but this team is no joke.
They're better.
This team is no joke, and they're not going to get pushed around anymore.
No.
They're not. I mean, this team can compete with the best of them. We saw it on Sunday. We're going to talk about this a little bit more later on in the show. But we got to get on Brian Munson. A lot's happening in the transfer portal, recruiting. Matt Rule is starting to travel a little bit. So let's get an update on all of that. Brian Munson joins us next. Stay with us on the block, 937 The Ticket.
Hey guys, this is Lindsay Teal from Nebraska Golf Team. Imagine golfing the best courses in the world. the courses and more without ever leaving the city of Lincoln. Double Eagle Golf. Double Eagle has the city's best golf simulators, 5 high-quality bays that track ball speed, launch angle, club speed, spin rate, and more to give you the most accurate gameplay. Check it out for yourself year-round. Double Eagle Golf, just 5 minutes from downtown at the Kinetic Sports Complex on West O Street.
Acres, your John Deere dealer, is offering year-end blowout savings on in-stock 2022 compact tractors and mowers. Make quick work of chores around your acreage and save over $4,000 on select John Deere compact tractors equipped with a loader and rear blade. Or save up to $1,000 on select 2022 John Deere Z-Trax and lawn tractors. Visit your local Acres store or acres.com to get these great discounts. Acres, solutions for every field. Discounts available on in-stock units while supplies last.
People first is more than a nice sentiment. At American Senior Benefits, it's the mission. If you're ready for a career where you can truly put your customers' needs ahead of everything else, this is for you. American Senior Benefits is one of the leading senior market insurance product distributors in the country, and they're looking for high-energy applicants with strong communication skills. Enjoy on-the-job training, a fun work environment, and unlimited income potential. Visit asbmidwest.com to learn more. American Senior Benefits.
Sartor Heyman Jewelers says, let it snow, because a white New Year's Eve could mean free jewelry. Shop from December 1st to December 24th, and if it snows 3 inches or more on New Year's Eve, your purchase is free. Holiday savings throughout the store. 36 months, interest-free financing with approved credit. Shop from December 1st to December 24th, and if it snows 3 inches or more on New Year's Eve, your purchase is free. Sartor Heyman Jewelers, a Nebraska tradition since 1905.
In your busy life, very little is free, but your next home might be a bit less than you think with a free appraisal from Security First Bank. Free home appraisals from Security First Bank. We're the bank. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender. Offer valid through December 31st, 2022 on secondary market new home purchase loans only. One free appraisal per transaction. Appraisals paid for by lender at closing. Subject to lender qualifications. See lender for details. NMLS number 505011.
James Enterprise Incorporated, that company that hauls your gravel, rocks, and material for your farm or construction site, says thank you to the people of the healthcare community for putting yourself in the way of danger to save the public. That is what it means to be a hero and to build a beautiful legacy. This message brought to you by James Enterprise Incorporated. For all your hauling of rock, gravel, and materials, call them at 402-432-6740. That's 402-432-6740.
Life-changing research doesn't just take place in outer space. It's also happening right here in Nebraska, and you could play a key role. Solarion, one of the world's leading clinical research organizations, needs healthy adults who are 19 years old and older for a research opportunity. If you qualify, you can earn up to $500 a day for time and travel. Overnight stays may be required. To learn more, call Solarion at 866-213-2965 or visit helpresearch.com/500.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by Security First Bank, a relationship you can count on.
Clouds today and cooler. We'll see an afternoon high of around 43. Winds out of the north, a little strong at 15 to 20. Just a few lingering clouds tonight. We'll see an overnight low of 22. As we head into our Tuesday, we'll continue to see a mix of sun and clouds with an afternoon high of around 42. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hey, Steve. Welcome to Great Clips.
Great Clips asks, what's the difference between good and great?
Come on back and have a seat.
Good asks you what haircut you'd like.
I have all your details from last time. Would you like the same haircut today?
Great already knows. With Clip Notes, we save your haircut details so you can get the same thing as last time, every time. Download our online check-in app today. Great Clips. It's gonna be great.
It's always your lucky day when you play slots at Warhorse Casino Lincoln. The more you play, the more you win with Warhorse Rewards. Sign up for free and see how easy it is to rack up rewards any way you play. Redeem points for free play and more. Plus, bring your premium player's card from another casino and we'll instantly match your tier for even more benefits. Get in the game at Warhorse Casino Lincoln.
Must be 21 or older to enter. Proper ID is required. Gambling problem? 1-833-BET-OVER.
Veterans, do you know what local, state, and federal benefits and services you're eligible to receive? Do you want help navigating the application or appeals process? Speak to your county veteran service officer or the Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs State Service Office to see what's available to you and your family. You've served our country, now let us serve you. Visit veterans.nebraska.gov today. Sponsored by the Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Back to On the Block with Strick and Nate on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
You darn right we're coming in hot. Nebraska is the, I guess, what should we say, the champions of the state. Is that what it is? I don't know.
Yeah.
Is there something that is like,
Yeah, basically.
We run the state.
We run the state. It's a red state.
That's right. Nebraska.
Right now.
Creighton. So we're
Not now,
we're
but right
enjoying
now.
ourselves. So we are coming in a little bit hot today. Also, TCU made it to the playoff. That'll make me a little bit hot as we move forward throughout the rest of the day. 402-464-5685. Starter Heyman text line. Honda of Lincoln hotline. As always, we want to hear from you. Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter as well. That's the Starter Heyman Jewelers video stream. We're going to head to the Honda of Lincoln hotline where we've got Brian Munson, Husker Online on 3. Brian, what's going on?
Strick wasn't fired up about that game this weekend at all, man. I was so disappointed. Like, he was doing nothing on Twitter. And it was lame, man. Lame.
It was
that game was awesome, wasn't it?
It was so awesome, Brian, man. It was good to be in the building, and I was glad I decided to go. Definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. You would have really regretted passing up that opportunity, man. But I was so happy with the way Walker played. He has man, I tell you what, he surprised me so much so far this season, and he made the Creighton big man look bad, and I just that size there in the paint, man, it's going to be fun to watch all season.
Yeah, Derek. Listen, all of the stuff, it was good. He came back the time that he did, Brian, because to get a little taste of it against the size that he was going against. Then to work his lungs and to be ready for this stretch, I think it was a tremendous benefit for the Huskers.
Absolutely, man. It's going to be fun to watch these guys. I think that this is going to provide a lot of confidence to that team going through the season now.
Yeah, it'll definitely be fun to watch.
I got some questions for
you.
you.
We got some good games coming up for Husker basketball.
We do. We have some good games. You know, I'm not going to really even.
There's a lot to talk about.
There's a lot to talk about, and I really do. I don't know if I want to let Nate in on this, but I'm gonna say it like this. Matt Rule is getting busy. He's come in here. He's put down, you know, all the semblance of a suit and tie, and he's got on his workout boots and his Timberlands, and he's got his hard hat on, and it looks like to me that he's coming in here and he's staying true to the plan that he spoke about, and it looks like he's going in to find those developed guys, those guys that have been looked over, passed over, and he's looking to bring some guys in here to get them developed and brought up and beaten into the culture of what they want to not beaten, but whipped into the culture that they're trying to create here in Nebraska. What say you?
I would agree with that. I think that there's definitely some guys that they have targeted recently that kind of fit that bill for sure. I mean, look at Quentin Ives out of Beverly, New Jersey. He's a 6'3", 180-pound, running back that, doesn't have a lot of offers. He's got Temple and a couple other ones that are kind of out there, but you put the film on and you can certainly start to see it a little bit. He's a bigger guy. He's an athletic guy. And obviously this is all on the heels of Arnold Barnes III, decommitting from Nebraska today. So they're going out there and they are turning over some rocks, right? Trying to find some dudes, and they're trying to keep this class together. I mean, there's like 10 guys coming in this weekend that are part of that 2023 group. I guess I'm including Malachi, who I've got confirmed for coming in this weekend for another official visit. But I think that there's really something else too that happened over this weekend, and it was definitely not missed by all the guys that visited. The junior day on Sunday, I think really stressed two things. Number one, the Rule is very, very serious about in-state players, and I think number two it also gave this staff a real great chance to showcase how personable and how down to earth they were. I don't know how many times I heard people say that was the best or the funnest trip that they've taken to Nebraska ever.
Wow.
And that just screams to me, because heck, some of those guys haven't even lived in Lincoln for a week, and here they are showing these guys that have been offered by Nebraska, some of them, close to a year, over a year. And this is the best visit that they have ever taken to Nebraska. That really told me a lot.
Brian Munson, Husker Online on 3, joining us right now. Brian, you mentioned Malachi Coleman, and I want to bring him up, and then some other guys that are already in the building. I don't know, maybe an O'Shawn Mathis, Casey Thompson, just examples. What have you heard that Matt Rule's doing, or maybe not doing, just to make sure that these guys stay in the room if there is still mutual interest there?
I haven't heard too much about like the retention stuff. I mean, there's been 1, 2, 3 guys today, mostly line guys. Alex Kahn, Jalen Weaver, and Marquise Black have all decided to go and get into the portal today. And obviously you've heard about Jaden Gould and Kamani Grimes happening a couple, 3 days ago, and then Brant Banks before that. So I think obviously that they've had a chance to kind of get some things through. They're hearing about where they're kind of at in the depth chart. The one guy that kind of doesn't make a lot of sense with, but he's got his own reasons, is going to be Ernest Hausman. But I think everybody else was just kind of down the list, down the depth chart, kind of looking at square in the face and not sure when, their time was going to get there. And now all of a sudden you got a new staff that is not going to be paying a whole lot of attention to you because you're not their guy. Now they're also, when you're on either side of that of the ball on this line of scrimmage, Coach Rule has made it known that he thinks that the play starts up front. So now he's going to be recruiting over you. He's already got one guy from Texas A&M, a portal transfer, Elijah Judy, coming in this weekend, who's a defensive lineman, probably more of a 3 technique. So now all of a sudden you've got guys that are portal, guys that are junior college, guys that are high school. So all 3 tiers of kind of that eligibility sitting over the top of you right now as you're trying to find a way to work your way back from underneath it. That's tough. That's really, really, really tough to do. So I'm sure that the meetings are taking place, and it looks like Nebraska is very active right now in the portal. Not a lot of activity, as much as I think others might have suspected. I think that there were a couple positions that people might see a couple guys leave, but all in all, it's been pretty quiet on that front.
Is this a situation, Brian, that they could possibly get back into maybe a Zane Flores type of, conversation, or is that pretty much over and done with?
I think Zane is done. Obviously, I talked to Corver Dema last week, and I exchanged text messages with Mason Goldman a little bit. Zane Flores was supposed to be, in the room, talking to the Nebraska coach last Friday. Flores wasn't. But when they went to go walk around, they bumped into him. They had a chance to kind of meet and talk to one another. And it seemed very, very clear, I think, at least according to Corver, that he was trying to put it out there that he was solid to Oklahoma State. And I've been told this look, I got a good friend that's out there in Gretna, is friends with a lot of folks that are in the Gretna school system. And they told him a lot about, basically Flores' family. And that's just, that's their nature. They are very true to their word. That's just kind of who they are as a group. And so that's tough to kind of get around. And I think maybe if there's a guy that Nebraska might try to take a look at, might be Lincoln Kineholz, the UW commitment from up in South Dakota. I know he's got an official visit, or had an official visit, coming up to Ohio State. I think that's an interesting one to kind of keep an eye on. I'm pretty sure things are going to go south with William Watson here, very soon, where there'll be kind of a, parting of ways, so to speak, between Nebraska and Watson.
Brian Munson, Husker Online, joining us. Brian, what have you seen so far that's been the focus for Matt Rule? I know he's been very active on Twitter, talking about the places that he's going, some of the players that he's talked to. Do you see kind of a pattern or a rhyme or reason, or do you think it's just all hands on deck, we're going to recruit everybody that we can?
I think you're talking about a guy that's trying to upgrade not just the roster, but the athleticism.
Okay.
He has offered some guys that have got a lot of speed, and speed seems to be the name of the game. And I wouldn't get, I know that Strick and I were talking a second ago about the right guys not necessarily having to carry those stars next to their name. They're looking for just the right guys, period. The guys that they can to get in and they can get them to go to work, and they believe that there's something in there that they just need to kind of bring out, and it's been missed by the process. But there are some dudes that, I'm waiting on confirmation on two guys right now, two Texas guys that are both 4-star players, or actually one's a 3-star and one's a 4-star, that could be part of the weekend group, both defenders. And I think that he's also, gone back to his roots a little bit. He's back in Texas. He's leveraging some guys that have got ties up there into the Northeast, like in Maryland and New Jersey. And I think that we'll start to see some more things open up with Florida very, very soon.
One last thing. Some of the stuff that we're starting, and I think we're going to have a segment one of these times, Brian, where we're going to really talk about this NIL situation, because you're looking at just the numbers that are staggering. 10 plus out of Texas A&M after they spent the bag. They did, NIL, allegedly. They spent the bag and they put things out there in the mix, and a lot of these guys are breaking camp and going elsewhere. Is this NIL thing, and this is a discussion, Sauter Heyman text line 402-464-5685. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this as well. But Brian, the NIL, there's a good and there's a bad, and I think there's an ugly to it. And in the ugly part of it, I think that, do you think that giving these kids that kind of money on the upfront before they've shown improve with Bryce Young, you can understand. He goes out and wins a Heisman, he comes back. Yeah, it's okay landing him a big NIL deal. But some of these guys are paying coming in, and are they getting returns on their investments in a lot of these, or do you just see this kind of as just, it's tough to coach guys that are kind of getting this kind of money and is kind of getting in that kind of trouble and find themselves transferring right after?
It's a great discussion point, because if you look at some of the guys that are out there for Nebraska, already. So there's 9 guys that are in there. Really only 2 guys saw, any type of real playing time. You had Hausman and you had Garcia Castaneda. And then you had, a number of guys. Well, Brant Banks did see some time, but Dakotas Crawford and Kamani Grimes, Jaden Gould, Marquise Black, Jalen Weaver. Weaver saw a little bit, but Alex Kahn. These guys, at least, when it came to any NIL money, and I think that you're really more referring to the programs that are opening it up, that are competing for the number one, class in the nation. And all of a sudden, these guys are kind of getting their bag and then they're leaving and going home. I don't think there's a great return on investment so far, and I'm not sure how or what you do to kind of get that back on track.
Yeah,
I was told there was an offensive tackle that Nebraska tried desperately to kind of get back into earlier on this season, and he was making $10,000 a month.
My goodness.
It's just hard to fathom, how things are happening, for these kids at such an early age. I don't think it sets up well for how life really is.
Yeah, it's kind of like a false reality.
For up front and during, when you can go ahead and leave and just go anywhere you want to go based on, they no longer have, vanilla ice cream cones in the training table. Like, it's just, that's life, buddy. You have to figure out a way to get around it.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see as these dominoes continue to fall. I just saw a notification on my phone. Phil Dracovic from Boston College is going to be going to Pitt. So now players are transferring right within conference. Brian Munson, Husker Online. Brian, last question I got for you. Is there anyone, or I guess any recruit that Nebraska fans should keep their eye on over the next week or so?
Yeah, I'll give you 2. So you got Princewell Namilan, who is a edge rusher, outside linebacker from Texas. I would keep a close eye on him. He's a 4-star guy. His brother's actually at Florida. And then his buddy, one of his best friends, guy that he has played football with for years and years and years. I caught up with him on Saturday night. His name is Trey McCutcheon. First name is Latravion. He's out of Austin, Texas. I think technically it's Manor, Texas, but I'd have to go back and take a look. But Trey had been trying to get things together with Prince Will to where they could take a trip or two together. When the Nebraska offers aligned, they were going to make the trip together. But Trey, I think, was scheduled to go to Oklahoma State this weekend. So now that maybe the rumor is that Prince Will's coming in, I'm wondering if Travion has got his visits kind of changed around a little bit. So I'm waiting for word on that one. But those are two big ones right there that Nebraska could be getting in on. And I'd be very interested to see what happens with A.J. Newberry, who's a running back from Grand Prairie South. I think that's going to be an interesting guy, even though Deion Sanders has been hired back at Colorado. Sometimes, guys have ways of kind of cutting bait with some recruits because they have other guys other places. So maybe Newberry finds himself on the outside looking in, and Nebraska could be there for him.
Well, Brian, these certainly aren't the first nor the last recruits that are going to be starting to make decisions here in the next couple months. If people want more great content from you, how can they get some?
Get on over to Husker Online.
Get on over there.
Get on over. Now it's $25 for 10 months.
Okay.
And we've got some great NIL portal stuff up. You can go right online, get into a portal tracker, see how many players have decided to go ahead and leave Nebraska via the tracker. We've got the official visit list all set up for this weekend. Don't know who was in town on Sunday. That's on there as well.
Brian, we appreciate you as always. We'll talk to you next week.
Be good, guys. We'll see you.
All right, there he goes, Brian Munson. Always bringing the heat when he comes on. He's coming in hot, Strick. He's always coming in hot. Definitely something to keep an eye on, too, because the dominoes are starting to fall. A lot of guys hitting the transfer portal, a lot of NIL deals being thrown out there. We're going to talk about it in the next hour, but first, we got to play Shootout with Strick. Your chance to win $15 to Buffalo Wings and Rings. All you got to do is give us a call, 402-464-5685. Shootout with Strick coming up next.
For the Stricken.
For the Stricken.
Welcome to this demonstration of the Sal 1000, the world's first self-aware computer. How are you, Sal?
I'm fine, Dave.
Let's start with basic mathematics. Sal, if someone won $1,000 a day for life playing Lucky for Life from the Nebraska Lottery, how much would they have after 1 week?
$7,000, Dave.
After 1 year?
$365,000, Dave.
After 10 years?
$3,650,000, Dave.
Well done, Sal. Let's go on to advanced physics.
I don't think so, Dave. I'm going to a Nebraska Lottery retailer to buy a Lucky for Life ticket. Since my circuitry will last for 100 years, I would very much like to win $1,000 a day for life.
Ladies and gentlemen, please calmly proceed to the exits.
Do whatever you like, Dave. I've called myself a taxi using your smartphone.
Lucky for Life, drawing 7 days a week. Top prize odds 1 in 30 million. Must be human to play.
I'm turning off your mic, Chris.
James Enterprise Incorporated, that company that hauls your gravel, rocks, and material for your farm or construction site, says thank you to the people of the healthcare community for putting yourself in the way of danger to save the public. That is what it means to be a hero and to build a beautiful legacy. This is brought to you, James Enterprise Incorporated. For all your hauling of rock, gravel, and materials, call them at 402-432-6740. That's 402-432-6740.
Sartor Heyman Jewelers says let it snow because a white New Year's Eve could mean free jewelry. Shop from December 1st to December 24th, and if it snows 3 inches or more on New Year's Eve, your purchase is free. Holiday savings throughout the store. 36 months interest-free financing with approved credit. Shop from December 1st to December 24th, and if it snows 3 inches or more on New Year's Eve, your purchase is free. Sartor Heyman Jewelers, a Nebraska tradition since 1905.
Life-changing research doesn't just take place in outer space. It's also happening right here in Nebraska, and you could play a key role. Solarion, one of the world's leading clinical research organizations, needs healthy adults who are 19 years old and older for a research opportunity. If you qualify, you could earn up to $500 a day for time and travel. Overnight stays may be required. To learn more, call Solarion at 866-213-2965 or visit helpresearch.com/500.
Jake Sorensen here for The Body Shop. No, not for your car. The Body Shop is your go-to place in Lincoln for professional massages. My wife and I had a 60-minute deep tissue couples massage recently that was everything we could have asked for and more. Whether you're looking for a Swedish massage, sports massage, deep tissue, hot stone, aroma, or more, There's only one place to go. Plus, it's a great Christmas gift. The Body Shop at 48th and A. Book an appointment today at thebodyshoplincoln.com.
Acres, your John Deere dealer, is offering year-end blowout savings on in-stock 2022 compact tractors and mowers. Make quick work of chores around your acreage and save over $4,000 on select John Deere compact tractors equipped with a loader and rear blade. Or save up to $1,000 on select 2022 John Deere Z-Trax and lawn tractors. Visit your local Acres store or acres.com to get these great discounts. Acres, solutions for every field. Discounts available on in-stock units while supplies last.
The most innovative ag technology that exists today on display in one place at the Nebraska Ag Expo. Autonomous and robotic equipment, precision ag, commodity marketing gurus, and more. All in the brand new Innovation Hub at the Nebraska Ag Expo. Come check it out December 6th, 7th, and 8th at the Lancaster Event Center in Lincoln. Register online at NebraskaAgExpo.com to give $8. The Nebraska Ag Expo is sponsored by Farm Credit Services of America and Ag Direct.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
The Empire brand is growing with ESC Fabrication and Sandblasting. ESC is your place for custom handrails, industrial and commercial painting, and more. ESC provides custom welding for aluminum and stainless steel and media blasting of all sorts. ESC has great attention to detail. They stick to deadlines and keep within your budget. If you can dream it, they can make it. Contact ESC Fabrication and Sandblasting in Waverly today at 531-207-9329.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe. It's time to play Shootout with Strick. Call now, 464-5685, to take your shot against Eric Strickland. Shootout with Strick, brought to you by Buffalo Wings and Rings.
Time to play the game!
It's all about the game. It's time to play the game. Your chance to win 15, count at 1-5, $15 to Buffalo Wings and Rings. All you got to do is beat the Husker Hall of Famer at his own game. And we're making jokes on Twitter. Go ahead and give us a follow. Nathan B1011. Strick, what's your Twitter?
eStrick20.
eStrick20. Go ahead and check us out.
ESTRICK. Put some respect on it.
Put some
20.
respect. Well, the thing is,
okay, it's got to be.
I wasn't giving you much respect on Twitter because Strick is coming off of 4 straight losses. So if
Fake
there was,
news.
If there was ever a time to defeat the Husker Hall of Famer, it's probably during this cold spell. We're gonna head to the Honda Lincoln Outline where we got Scott. Scott, what's going on today?
Oh. Hopefully going to extend the losing streak.
I hope not.
Well, this is definitely the time to take advantage of it, Scott. Strick has not performed.
Been
very
struggling.
well.
I'm struggling.
Struggling. He's on the struggle bus. Scott, stay on the line. You know how this works. We got to get Strick's answers first. See how many points you have to get in order to win the Stricken. Strick, to help you out a little bit today, I got to tell you the category. You can interpret it from then on. College basketball. I'll just say that it's not specifically Huskers related. It's just college basketball. I'll go ahead and give you that. All right. Are you ready?
Okay.
All right. We will start in 3, 2, and 1. They remain the number 3 team in the country. Virginia or Purdue?
Virginia.
That's correct. They fall 6 spots and round out the top 10. Baylor or Arizona?
Arizona.
That's correct. This Big Ten school falls to number 14. Ohio State or Indiana?
Indiana.
That's correct. They dropped 14 spots in the latest poll. Creighton or Illinois?
Creighton.
That's correct. And this Big Ten school is the first team out of the rankings at 26.
Ohio State.
Good guess. I don't want to wait. Let me see if this is anywhere on the rest of it. No, it's not. Good guess. Ohio State is 25. Iowa is 26. Iowa is the first team out of the rankings. But despite that, Strick, a good showing today, 4 points. So I won't say you're back on your winning ways because I still believe in Scott.
I left room for Scott.
You did leave some room, but 4 points isn't a terrible score. So, Scott, you got to get 4 to tie, 5 to win. How you feeling?
Oh, I'm going to say so-so.
All right. Well, I believe in you for what it's worth. Scott, are you ready?
I am.
All right. We will start in 3, 2, and 1. They jumped 3 spots to number 5. Tennessee or UConn?
UConn.
That's correct. They're the highest ranked one-loss team. Arkansas or Kansas?
Kansas.
That's correct. They fall to number 18 after starting the season number 2 in the country. Gonzaga or Duke?
Duke.
It's Gonzaga. This ACC school falls completely out of the rankings after their 4th loss. NC State or North Carolina?
North Carolina.
For the win, they remain the top-ranked team in the country.
That would have to be Gonzaga.
No.
Straight. He back on the. Yeah,
Scott. Unfortunately, it is Houston. Houston is still the number 1 team in the country. I know it was on the tip of your tongue. I could tell there was a sense over there.
Hard.
Scott, that's okay because luckily for you, Strick does still play for the people. You are not completely out of it. Go ahead and hang up now because the third caller number 3, Scott, that means you too. You could win. Caller number 3 will get the stricken. Strick,
I feel like Nebraska against Creighton, my boy.
You finally deserved these.
Boom shakalaka. Finish him.
Flawless.
Yeah, hell yeah. I said, give me a hell yeah.
Well, Scott's off the line. Hopefully he's winning chicken, but do you have anything to say for yourself, sir?
Man, I got off the snide.
You did. That was.
It's been a struggle, my boy.
Well, how about this? I'll go ahead and give you this just to see if you can keep this momentum going.
We winners here. Let's go.
So my Hokies are outside of the polls, not ranked. They're getting there.
Because they're terrible.
They're getting there. They're not terrible. They're getting there. Only 1 loss in the season to Charleston, by the way. So they're outside of the polls. How many votes do they have to be ranked?
2.
Come on, man. Put some more respect on my Hokies. 27.
No. They're terrible.
They're pretty good. They just beat UNC.
But the women are worse.
The women are 7th in the country. Women are no joke, Strick, and they're still undefeated. Just beat Tennessee yesterday, too. So that'll do it for us. Shootout with Strick. We'll still play tomorrow right around this time, right around 2:50, 2:55.
What we got coming at 3? Transfer portal information.
Transfer portal, NIL. Cluster is going to join us, and we'll cross it over with Old School. We'll be right back on the block. 93.7 The Ticket.
Hi, I'm Charlie Stone, and I'm back with Andy Goodyear, General Manager of Honda of Lincoln. Andy, you said to me earlier you have a lot going on at the dealer upstairs about it.
Sure can, Charlie. As I've said before, if you don't see a vehicle on our lot that you're looking for, it's probably on its way soon.
So, how many new Hondas do you have in stock or on the way?
We have a total of over 325, Charlie, with a great selection of Pilots and Ridgelines in stock right now.
Well, we have been talking about the Honda of Lincoln way of buying cars for several months. How is that going?
People love it. We're buying all makes and models, whether they purchase the car from us or not. I mean, really, it's a no hassle, and we will pay them cash on the same day.
Come experience the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business. 27th and Yankee Hill Road, or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
People first is more than a nice sentiment. At American Senior Benefits, it's the mission. If you're ready for a career where you can truly put your customers' needs ahead of everything else, this is for you. American Senior Benefits is one of the leading senior market insurance product distributors in the country, and they're looking for high-energy applicants with strong communication skills. Enjoy on-the-job training, a fun work environment, and unlimited income potential. Visit ASBMidwest.com to learn more. American Senior Benefits.
Wow. Did you ever save me money on my car?
Yes, that's why our customers keep coming back.
How do you do it, friendly car dealer ?
We simply have low overhead and high trade-in values. The next line's yours.
Oh.
Ready for something better? Mullen Motors is a no-hassle, no-pressure dealership with financing available. Check out the inventory at MikeMullenMotors.com.
No taglines, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
A good game with good friends. But isn't it time to up the score when it comes to the food? Wings and Rings is here for every football fan. Catch the game on one of their big screens or snag a tail great pack to go. They're cranking up the heat and throwing in mad flavor this season. Stop by your locally owned Wings and Rings on O Street, Meridian Park, or 48th and Old Cheney in Williamsburg Village, or grab some crave-worthy Wings and Rings to go. Make them your go-to destination to watch your team bring home the win. Wings and Rings. Game time just got better.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Decking the halls with boughs of holly sure sounds great until you're the one who has to do it. Take the stress out of your holiday parties this year and host your gatherings at Suite A Events by Mary Ellen's. Suite A is the perfect place for your year-end company parties or other large gatherings. Suite A and Mary Ellen's can handle the food, the desserts, the decorations, and of course, those holiday spirits. See for yourself online at SuiteAEvents.com or at 27th and Pine Lake, right next to Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul.
Riddles Jewelry is excited to showcase the scintillating Levion Jewelry Collection. Levion is known for their love of reinventing fine designer jewelry through unique combinations of chocolate diamonds, vibrant gemstones, and precious metals. Levion and Riddles Jewelry, two family-owned businesses who put customers at the heart of what they do. No one colors your world better than Levion. So visit Riddles Jewelry today and receive $100 off any Levion purchase now through Christmas.
At Riddles Jewelry, Gateway Mall.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
John Henry's Plumbing, heating and air.
When it comes to your home or business, we know you have options, and that's why John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning gives you just that. Options. We have plumbing, heating, and cooling memberships to serve all of your residential and commercial needs. We want to ensure you, your family, and your business are safe. Visit our website, jhlincoln.com, to find out more or call us at
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, heating and air.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
Tractor Supply is looking for full-time team members for their Waverly Distribution Center. Tractor Supply has a new progressive pay model where team members receive 5 wage increases in the first 2 years of employment with the ability to earn up to $24 per hour. Applicants can expect a 3- and 4-day work week schedule with additional overtime days with both day and night shift schedules available. At Tractor Supply, they work hard, have fun, and make money. Apply today at tractorsupply.jobs.
93.7 The Ticket. Fox KFXL weather. Sponsored by Security First Bank. A relationship you can count on.
A few passing clouds today and cooler. We'll see an afternoon high of around 43. Winds out of the north, a little strong at 15 to 20. Just a few lingering clouds tonight. We'll see an overnight low of 22. As we head into our Tuesday, we'll continue to see a mix of sun and clouds with an afternoon high of around 42. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
This is On the Block with Strick and Nate. Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Eric Strickland.
Strickland for three! And you're going to go out of here as the Big 8 tournament champion.
and Hokie Homer turned Husker, Nathan Brennan.
Everyone knows that I'm the smartest person here.
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Brought to you by Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. This is On the Block with Strick and Nate.
We're back on the block, 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. Sauter Hammond text line is always open to you. We thank you continuously for your support and joining us here on the block 2 to 4 every day. Man, what a great weekend. So much. Look, there's so many ways that we can go. And the energy in here is so much better when you have
it's awesome.
Just winning programs all the way across the board. Volleyball's hot. They're looking to break through.
Both basketball teams
won big. Maryland got a monkey off their back with a win against Maryland, which they haven't done.
First time in program history, which is crazy.
So you got to love that. And then Huskers. I mean, look, do you understand that breakdown goes all the way back to when I was playing? That's how long it's been since we beat them
at CHI.
We didn't play at CHI.
Where are you guys at?
We played at the Civic Center.
Oh, really?
Back in the day.
Oh.
Yep. Omaha Civic Center is where we used to play. That's actually where, if anybody on the Sauter Heyman text line remembers back in the day when Stricky was, that's a long time ago, my gosh. When Stricky was in high school, would you say that the Metro Holiday Tournament was the best then when it was in the Omaha Civic Center or when it's at Baxter right now? Shout out in the text line because I remember those days and it felt like the Civic Center used to be rocking when we
How
was
many
playing.
didn't fit?
I mean, I got to say at least about $8,000.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, 8, 9 grand. And I'm telling you, it would be some packed houses when some of the rivalry games kind of popped off. I mean, you might see Curtis Marshall and Prep against Terrence Badgett and South, and then Stricky will come in there and
give you the work.
Benson or hey, it was some rivalry games back then. But we're not going to talk about those rivalries right now. We're going to move on. And we're going to talk about the transfer portal because Nate, listen, the transfer portal, they just broke down. I think as of December 5th, there was over 5,000 kids in the transfer portal at that time, and that's crazy. Is that a crazy number, or was it 500? It might be 500. I think it's 500.
Here it is, just off of today. So Max Olson tweets this. So far, 400 plus FBS scholarship players
500
have entered the portal or announced their transfer.
That's FBS.
That's just today.
That's FBS.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If this new world frightens you and confuses you, get ready and buckle up because this is the reality. And that's crazy to think that it's just 400 today. And I think what's so crazy to me, Strick, is there's some big names transferring.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just, I want you to talk about this, and I want you to touch on it because as someone who played at a time when the transfer portal was there, wasn't really as what it is today, and there wasn't NIL. Because I think a lot of this, and I might be very wrong because the transfer portal was still alive and well the past 2 seasons or off seasons as well.
Yeah.
But I feel like now that NIL is involved, it's just become the Wild West. And I want to know your perspective as someone who didn't play under these circumstances.
Yeah, for me who didn't play, well, first of all, I just come from that. Being the father or more being the son of an officer in the Air Force, my thing was if you commit to something, you stick and stay. The only way that could change, like I told you, I think I kind of mentioned the story as to the closest I ever came to quitting was watching my team just fall off the map after knowing we had probably the 3rd best team in the Big 8 by far.
Right.
Top 3 team in the Big 8, and we just dropped the ball, right? We showed what we could do because I guarantee you at the end of that season, there's nobody in the country that would have wanted to play us. That's how we came along at the end of that season.
Right.
But I look at these NIL situations. Here's what throws me for the loop, Nate. I'm looking at it right now, and you look at a top 10 overall recruit back in 2020. He goes to Oregon. He's a linebacker, Justin Flo.
Okay.
He appeared in 10 games this season. He had 35 tackles, 14 solo. What is missing? Is it the fit? Are they going for the wrong reasons? What would make someone with that kind of talent to then all of a sudden, this is not the place for me, right? Then you look at,
Uyangalele.
Right?
That's my boy.
He jumps in the portal. And you've got to ask, you've been given every opportunity, and Fisher has stayed with you.
They have.
The whole course, the whole way. And now you want to jump in there after you done landed huge NIL deals as well. Texas A&M has the best freaking recruiting class in the country, and they've got 10 plus guys now jump. That's crazy. That's crazy. It's so for me, Sutter Heyman text line 402-464-568. Make it make sense for me. What is it about this transfer portal and this generation that is uniquely changed? Because we did, I think we didn't leave as much because of the fact that it was so much more difficult. Because you might have had to sit out a year or two. If you go in conference, you might have to sit out, I think it might have been 2 years. And you didn't really have that opportunity unless you were a grad, I think, to be able to go somewhere and
grad transfers happen all the time. They
all the
always
time.
have. That's I don't think any part of my frustration. Is it really fit? Because I feel like, when you were playing Strick, when you were playing Strick, that this just didn't happen, and it was more of like a wait your turn, and I don't know if players just don't want to wait their turn. The only thing that confuses me is that a lot of these guys are jumping into the portal. In downtown Scott has this meme here. It's third string entering the transfer portal, and then you just join this collective group of transfers that have nowhere to go.
Yeah.
So for some players, like a DJ Uyangalele, in his defense, it looked like the writing was on the wall.
Mhm.
He was probably going to get benched. I think that he can go to another Power 5 school and probably start. But there are so many of these other guys that I see, and I don't know if it's just you don't have the opportunity. But for example, Strick, think how many freshmen are transferring. You didn't even give it a chance.
Yes.
You haven't even seen this thing out. If you're a sophomore, junior, you waited your turn. You don't get the time like a Joe Burrow. Maybe okay, I get that. We're on the same page here. But Strick, if you're a freshman, you could talk about your freshman year. Were you getting the minutes that you wanted? Were you getting the playing time? Were you getting the recognition? Probably not. And a lot of these guys aren't. Well, okay, maybe you were, Strick, but under normal circumstances, some of the guys that you played with. I bet some of the guys that you played with made their way and developed up.
Yeah, and that was Andre. That was Andre Woolridge. Andre Woolridge did that.
Yeah.
He did that, and so the difference, for me, right? The difference for me, and why I was able to have early success is because I was a defensive juggernaut, right? And I tell kids all the time, I say, listen, if you want to play, I guarantee you there's no coach in the country that would not find a slot for you if you can defend, stop your guy, and give them a reason to make sure that they have a spot for you on the court, and they will make a spot for you if you can defend. That was always my mentality. So I always took those principles. So I can understand why Andre left, right? Great expectations, high expectations. You're at home. Unfortunate that there's a point guard that was, just as good. He knows how to run the ship.
Right.
And he was a senior, and unfortunate that, I played the off guard and I can play 2 or 3, just for my size. So that gave me a space, of value. So that's the difference though, man. Guys, they don't give themselves a chance.
Yeah, literally, because I just
don't
look at
give
these
themselves a
freshmen.
shot.
You don't even give yourself a chance.
Yeah, you don't
And
get a
you're
chance
gonna
to
jump?
learn and grow and get
No.
stronger and watch and observe. Everybody wants it right now. And so what you said earlier, Nate, is guys get out there in that transfer portal and realize
You get stuck.
there's nowhere for you to go. So you end up going down. So then you end up going, yeah, you're going to play, but are you going to have the same type of potential enjoyment? Injuries happen all the time. Circumstances change. Coaches change. The ideas of a coach. Just think if you were with Nebraska before, in their earlier ideas of the way that they did things, going back to the Palmer days and, the Trey and the McGowans. And now this is a different style of team. Right. If you were that kind of player and you left before you got a chance to see it, you might have been a great fit for what they're doing now. And so that's what's weird about it. And I really do hope that changes, but I just don't know. I just don't see it. I think one, you have parents and kids chasing NILs like there's no tomorrow. And then you have, guys just not wanting to take their time and fit, because there's a reason why you're there. Either you're there for the wrong reasons, or you're there not for the fit, but for something that in your mind fits for where you think you're trying to acclaim or get to.
And this is my biggest frustration. In Texter, this is going to kind of loop into it. He says there's too many people in these kids' ear telling them they're better than they are, and they could really go do something bigger and better in another place with the snap of a finger. And I think what's lost a lot of this, and I know college sports now is a business more than it ever has been, and there's money to be made. I understand all of that. What's so frustrating to me and what I think has been lost all of this is the value of an education. And I know that's probably the last thing that people want to hear right now. They want to win football games. They want to make money for playing football. Guess what? 98% of these kids aren't going to play professional football. 98% of these kids are just going to go on and be productive members of society. And there are so many times I just look at a kid that gets stuck in the transfer portal. Okay, you might not have been playing the minutes. Hang on, develop, work. Even if you don't get the opportunity on the field, guess what? You get to walk out with a top quality education. And you can say that for Nebraska, Creighton, whatever school you want to say, UNK down the road. I mean, there's so many schools that you can talk about that you are given the value of a top tier education that so many people are not given the option to have, and you're just throwing it away.
Yeah.
And I know that you want the NIL, the big paychecks. We all do.
Yeah.
The fancy cars, the vacation homes.
Don't talk about it, because I miss NIL.
I know, but that's the thing is we want all of that. But at the same time, I think there's something to be said for getting an education and moving on. Because that's what a lot of these kids are going to do.
Well, that was the one thing that my dad always taught me. My dad, I think that's what gave me a lot of drive. There's two things that my dad said to me that I'll share with the listeners of On the Block, that you would only get this information here unless you personally have a relationship.
Also, Thunder Knot College, this is all sports. This isn't just football.
Yeah, this is all sports.
This is all sports.
My dad said two things to me. One, he said, Stricky, he didn't say Stricky, he said, son, what are you going to do if something happens to you? If you blow a knee, you tear an Achilles,
right?
You have an injury that it doesn't allow you to either become the type of player that you are right now, or maintain the type of player, or you just can't play at all anymore. What happens then? That's one thing he said to me. That in my 9th grade year, when he said that to me, I went from being a mediocre student to an honor roll student, just because of that word. And that's a true statement. And I tell kids all the time, before I get to the second statement, I tell kids all the time, I say, listen, what you don't realize is that whether it be football at the collegiate level or whether it's basketball at a high level, at the NBA, we had a book that was like a mini encyclopedia of terminologies. It was literally about this big. If you're watching on the stream, it was thick, and it was terminology. It was plays. And I'm saying you don't get a second chance. Like, if you don't come into those practices, those 2-a-days, those whatever days they're doing now in the NBA, which is dang near no days, you come in there and you don't know it, you're on the quickest pink slip going out of there. And it's the same thing in football. Football is like work. So if you can't do it in the classroom, if you can't do it in school, if you can't take the time, because when you go to college, there's nobody sitting over your head saying, did you get your homework done? Did you write that paper? There's no one doing that. You have to have the discipline in order to do that stuff. So So the next thing he told me, he says, because he used to be really good with his hands. My dad we built a deck on our backyard. We put our sprinkler system in. We work on the car, all that stuff we did. My dad was trying to show me, right? He says, son, I hope you make a lot of money because you're going to have to pay somebody to do this stuff. Those two things my dad showed me helped me to become who I was as an athlete, and also gave me the drive to want to make it because I understood what he said to me. These kids sometimes today, they have great skills, great, passion, but do they have the stick-to-itiveness? And that's what I'd like to see going forward. It's a little bit more fortitude in sticking it out and competing. Like,
Right.
Do they really want to compete? Like, he beat you. Well, I used to go in the gym saying, oh, no. You got me today. Okay, let's see about tomorrow.
Right.
And I don't know if we have that nowadays.
And I think a lot of times too, there are circumstances that maybe 2-3 years you haven't been given an opportunity.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what the transfer portal is designed for. But these freshmen, like you haven't even gotten a chance to really practice,
right?
Let alone play, and you're just gonna jump. I think it's a disservice to the kids, and I think a lot of it is probably the adults in the room that are probably getting in these kids' ear. Oh, you can get NIL over there.
I'm telling you,
you'll have a better opportunity to get drafted here, and I think in some circumstances it's sad. And you talk about the future, Strick, and before we head to break here in a bit, I want to ask you, what does this mean for college football? Because I feel like we have this discussion every single offseason, and I know for a fact that we had it last offseason after the Jordan Addison situation where he leaves and he's basically sought for money.
What has he done since he's been at USC?
Well, he's been hurt for quite a bit, but
I'm just saying.
Do you think this slippery slope and this spiral continues?
But that's what's crazy.
I mean, that's the thing is does it slow down, or have we reached the point that it's just going to keep going?
It's the freaking wild west, my boy. It is, and I don't think it's similar to that word that people say. Once you squeeze the toothpaste out, you can't put it back in.
Right.
I think the toothpaste is out, and right now you can't put it back in the mix. So
no,
it is what it is.
And it'll be interesting to watch too, because like I said, Strick, I mean, every day you have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of guys entering the transfer portal. We're gonna have the Honda of Lincoln Hotline where we got Sailor Rico. What's going on today?
Hey guys, it's wow, what a Monday. A great Monday. And here's why. What a great weekend for Husker Nation, for the fan base, for the kids, the athletes, the coaches. Phenomenal. I mean, beginning with volleyball, carried through to the weekend with the two big basketball upset wins. Strick, I appreciate every time you bring up your father in conjunction with life lessons, because as a former military man myself, we're wired a little differently. We've seen things, we know things, and we always try to, know where the exits are, just a lot of weird, quirky things. But the one thing for sure is that we do care about things, and teaching life lessons to our children is absolutely paramount. And so I do appreciate when you bring that up. That's really, that's good stuff. Here's my question. Given, and really all the programs, but particularly with the men, now that they've got 3 of these wins in a row, you can see the momentum building. You can see the chemistry on the court. And, just talk a little bit about how far you can take a team, even with just this 3-win game win streak, in terms of their ability to buy in, to believe, to accept, and to understand what's going on, and to make better and to make good on all the things that they can. I also have noticed that we're probably seeing a little bit of the choking of the playing time for some of the other guys. I noticed Denham and DeMarcus were a bit light in terms of their contribution this weekend. Not that they won't in the future, but also even Blaze, fewer minutes probably than what I expected. If you could touch on all that stuff, I'd really appreciate it. You guys, great show as always.
Appreciate the call. Thank you.
Yeah.
Great questions.
Great questions. Listen, I love what I'm seeing out of this group, and well, first of all, I really do hand clap to Fred Hoiberg and the group, because that is not easy to do what they do. They've done. To lose your top scorers, one of your better defenders, you don't know if you're going to get Derek Walker back. So you're having to try to put together a team that is and change the character. So you're losing pretty much a good portion of your coaching staff.
Yeah.
So you're revamping a whole new staff. So in your mind, as you're Fred Hoiberg, you have to freaking sit down, do an assessment internally, then evaluate it externally. Who's the best type of fit for what I'm envisioning and trying to do? What do I have still on this team that's left over that I'm going to have to try to put something together? Right. Then to get them to change the culture mentality and buy into what we're trying to train and teach them. All of that had to happen in a short span of time.
Very short span of time.
Right?
Yeah.
But they've been able to do it. So I give them a hand clap for that. That's not easy. Then you look at his second question was about the
talking about the minutes for some of these guys.
Okay. So those minutes for this team is going to change from game to game. You'll probably see a little bit more Keita against Purdue. It's going to depend really on the matchups. The matchup for Creighton, I personally, and I'm not totally engrossed in the team and knowing what their game plans are going to be, but I could have told you that Blaise Keita was not going to play a lot of minutes this game. This is not that type of game. It's a transition game. It's a defensive stop game. It's a move your feet game, which is better suited for Breidenbach, Walker, and maybe Juwan Gary in that front line team. So I knew that was going to be this game is going to be a little bit different. You will probably see Blaise Keita some, maybe not as much, because Trace Jackson Davis is fleet-footed. So he moves his feet really well, but he's physical. It's matchups. And it's going to change from game to game and from week to week. But I definitely know you'll see those minutes ratchet up when you get into Purdue for them. Denham Dawson's going to be depending on where if you start to get a run, you'll probably throw Denham in to try to get some stops, get some dives on the floor, get some extra possessions, things like that. Some spark plug, some smart play. But they've understood their roles, which was something that we couldn't identify going forward. Who's who, who's what.
Which they needed to do.
They needed to.
Yeah, it was definitely refreshing too, because everyone that played, for what it's worth, looked like they filled that role too. Everyone knew their role and they executed. It was definitely great to see. We got to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk to two-time national champion Clester Johnson, talking about the transfer portal. He knows someone pretty closely that entered the transfer portal. Maybe we'll ask him about it. Coming up next on The Block.
Wow. Did you ever save me money on my car?
Yes, that's why our customers keep coming back.
How do you do it, friendly car dealer ?
We simply have low overhead and high trade-in values. The next line's yours.
Oh.
Ready for something better? Mullen Motors is a no-hassle, no-pressure dealership with financing available. Check out the inventory at MikeMullenMotors.com.
No taglines, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air. When it comes to your home or business, we know you have options, and that's why John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning gives you just that. Options. We have plumbing, heating, and cooling memberships to serve all of your residential and commercial needs. We want to ensure you, your family, and your business are safe. Visit our website, jhlincoln.com, to find out more, or call us at
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air.
Tractor Supply is looking for full-time team members for their Waverly Distribution Center. Tractor Supply has a new progressive pay model where team members receive 5 wage increases in the first 2 years of employment with the ability to earn up to $24 per hour. Applicants can expect a 3 and 4 day work week schedule. It's scalable. At Tractor Supply, they work hard, have fun, and make money.
Rosie Spell. dinner at 9th and P or 1 Center Park Road.
People always ask, what are Jake and Sip like when they're off the air? Well, the answer probably won't surprise you.
Hey, Jake, your Honda's looking a little dirty.
Says the guy whose license plate is barely visible.
I mean, do you even care about the thing anymore?
It gets a little uncomfortable. Now, that's when I jump in.
Hey, whoa. Mark, did you get a new car?
Nope, just took my car down to Nebraska Auto Detail. Joe and the staff made the outside and the inside look amazing. Maybe you guys need to go.
Okay, wise guy.
Settle down, Jake.
Book your appointment today at NebraskaAutoDetail.com.
Hey, it's Nicklin Hames from Nebraska Volleyball. I hate wasting time in practice, and I want to help you stop wasting your time when you're looking for an electrician. High Electric has been serving the area for over 30 years for both residential and commercial properties. They are experts in everything like remodeling, new additions, hot tub installation, and more. And they take jobs from Beatrice to Omaha and all towns, big or small, in between. Call them today at 402-466-6606 or learn more at high-electric.com.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Are you looking for a solid, stable career in assembly? CNC injection molding, we got you covered. Hi, Bob Williams, HR Director for Garner Industries, a world-class manufacturer with a 70-year history right here in Lincoln. And I just listed some great career opportunities that you can find by logging into GarnerIndustries.com. If you want top pay, excellent benefits, flexible work hours, and the opportunity to work in a clean, modern, air-conditioned facility with great people, contact me today by applying online at GarnerIndustries.com.
I'm Steve Carper, and I'm here to tell you that there's never been a better time to buy flooring. Whether you need carpet, wood flooring, ceramic tile, vinyl, area rugs, or custom blinds, you got to come to O Street Carpet. With our 12-month interest-free financing, you can do one room or your whole house and leave your holiday budget intact. And with our huge in-stock selection, you can buy today and we'll install it right away. 1732 O Street. We want to make you a customer for life.
This is Lindsay Teal from the Nebraska Golf Team. If you're looking for a Christmas gift for the avid golfer in your life, don't give them something they can't even use until spring. Get them the gift of indoor golf from Double Eagle Golf. Grab a gift card for a stocking stuffer or give the gift of a membership and let them golf all year long. Their space is also perfect for Christmas parties, corporate events, birthday parties, or anything else. See for yourself. Double Eagle Golf, just 5 minutes from downtown at the Kinetic Sports Complex on West O Street.
Decking the halls with boughs of holly sure sounds great until you're the one who has to do it. Take the stress out of your holiday parties this year and host your gatherings at Suite A Events by Mary Ellen's. Suite A is the perfect place for your year-end company parties or other large gatherings. Suite A and Mary Ellen's can handle the food, the desserts, the decorations, and of course, those holiday spirits. See for yourself online at SuiteAEvents.com or at 27th and Pine Lake, right next to Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. That person. More to win a business box of bagels, all you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels and Joe. Back to On the Block with Strick and Nate on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Joining us back on the block, right here on 93.7 The Ticket. We thank you always and at all times. It is a wonderful day. The day has just flown by. A lot of great content has been popping off on this morning. We talked a little bit about the NIL. We talked a little bit about Nebraska basketball, both the women and the men. We talked a little bit about the support that we're going to be putting forth this coming week for the volleyball team. We had a good crossover with the water cooler crew. And now we got Cluster Johnson that's joining us on the line. Cluster Johnson, what's up, my friend? How are you today?
Yes, sir. I was number 33 in your program, but number 1 in your heart. I'm here.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Listen, Sebo, man, there's a lot of things right now, man. There's almost 400 and almost 90 some odd kids in FBS that have joined the transfer portal, over 500. You've got a whole bunch of 4 and 5 stars leaving Texas A&M and leaving Clemson, all these top-notch type people leaving good programs and to look for greener pastures. You also have somebody that's close to you that's looking to find a wonderful home for his skill set to jump off. And how is that process? Because you're internal. Like we talk about it, we discuss it, but what is that process really like? Like, what is the type of stuff that you're able to see when it comes to trying to navigate these waters of the transfer portal?
Well, it's a new day and age.
Yeah.
It's unlike what you and I experienced coming through college. It was almost taboo to commit to a college and then decide you want to leave after a few years. So, me, I'm still trying to get used to it. I'm still trying to get used to the fact that these kids can take money. I mean, just like anything in our world, it evolves and you got to adjust, And so one of my philosophies is the great ones adjust. The great ones will adjust to whatever the adversity is, and the people will get left behind are the ones who are stubborn and not going to embrace what's not going to change. So you're either going to embrace it and make the best of it, or you're going to sit and complain. Now, as far as my son, I'm not going to really discuss a lot of the details.
Yeah.
I'll just say that he has a lot of interest, which is good for him. And he's 20 years old, and I'm going to, I'm just here as a
support,
as an advice guy. But at the end of the day, man, he has to be there.
Exactly.
He has to go to school. He has to, my day is over. So I'm just here to support him, and wherever he decides he wants to go, that's his decision.
So
I know a lot of the funny thing is a lot of people, me as a former Husker, a lot of people they just can't fathom that idea of my son not going to Nebraska. But it'd be a lot different if the roles were reversed with a lot of fans. A lot of fans, I think from a fan perspective, they don't think from breaking down what's happened at every school and everything that goes on with it. It's not about I just want this player because I want this player. No, it's like that guy's life. It's his life and what he has to go through and all the it's his experience. So that's all I say to people who always ask me questions about it. I say, hey, you know what? It's not about me. It's about him. So.
Well, let's look. No details or nothing like that. But class, real talk. Let's just kind of dig into what. Just you. Let's just look you and let's not talk about Kilo G. And that's what I call him. See, y'all don't know. That's my nephew. I call him Kilo G. So with Keegan Johnson, with him, this is coming. Like, what style of, whether it be offense, because there's got to be some things that you in this next one you want to see him in. So what type of style, based on this year's team, just not looking forward, not what they've told you, not any of those, but just kind of based on this year's teams of what you've seen, what type of style would be, you feel, a good fit for Keegan?
Obviously a team that's well balanced, a team that can run the ball, a team that has great, offensively, a team that has a good line play, consistent quarterback play, for a guy who's been in college for a couple of years, he's obviously looking for a quarterback with experience.
Mm-hmm.
He's looking for a team that like I said, has just balance across the offense. And then obviously he wants to make sure that the receivers are an integral part of the offense.
Mm-hmm.
That the offense really depends on these playmakers making plays.
Mm-hmm.
So I think in today's game, that's what it's all about. Like when I looked at Nebraska this year, and man, who wasn't excited to see a Trey Palmer, make these plays, along with some of the other guys.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think Keegan is definitely looking to do something like that for sure.
Yeah.
Cluster Johnson, two-time national champion, joining us right now. Cluster, from what you've seen so far from Matt Rule, what's really stuck out to you? We've seen he's been very active on Twitter. He's been out on the recruiting trail, both transfers, guys within the program, recruiting in high school. I mean, he's done so many things. What's really stood out to you so far?
Again, I think what I know of Coach Rule is he's going to hold guys accountable. I think he seems to be a guy who can go into these college systems and turn it around. I know how difficult it is to do in the pro setting because that's just a different mindset. But what he's done in college has been pretty phenomenal. What he did at Temple, which is not a traditional powerhouse type school. Going there and win 10 games a few times is extraordinary. And then to go to Baylor when they were, not doing very well and turn that around. So it just goes to the, he obviously has a system that works really well. And, I'm rooting for him. I'm rooting for him to get it turned around. But I think the number one thing is he seems to be a no nonsense person, because you got to be a no nonsense person to go in and be able to do that. You're going to try to make people crack and break because then you really know what you got, because then you can bring in the guys that you want to. They'll be used to his style. But I'm telling you, there's kids there now that are definitely not going to be used to his style. I know my son, Cade, had Coach Rule at the Senior Bowl, and he was, like you said, was a no-nonsense type of guy. And there's going to be some people that going to probably hit the portal because when they get his style, it just ain't going to match up to what they've probably been used to dealing with.
Yeah. So last thing, we got a chance to see some things happening in the program, man. What's your thoughts about this new transition? Because we're going to play Colorado next year, right? Yeah. So Matt Rule finds himself coming in, trying to revamp. You've got a same thing happening out there in Colorado, where now we know that Deion Sanders taking over. What if he reached out to you and you've got a quarterback that has some capabilities, some good, abilities to throw the ball at a high level, high clips. Like what did that matchup look like to you? Not to say Keegan's going to go to Colorado. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying, what would that matchup look like, to you, with two programs trying to reinvent themselves? And a lot of talk about, Sanders possibly coming here to coach it for Nebraska, and that was fake news. But how would you see that game, especially with you being in the rivalry?
It's gonna be super intriguing because you got two coaches and new programs for themselves and trying to get their culture established. And I think it's gonna be the battle of the wheels. It's going to be the battle of, who hit the ground running, who got their systems in place, who got their guys focused in on the message, and who's going to dig down deep and get that first win for their coach. and that's that's a huge deal. I saw that the Colorado AD was really making a big deal about Nebraska going out to Boulder and taking over. And I know that's going to be a real big point of contention for them to make sure that their fans black out the stadium versus allowing Nebraska to come and make it a home game. I mean, it was pretty phenomenal to watch the number of Husker fans that went out to the last Nebraska-Colorado game. I mean, it was pretty much a Nebraska home game. So it's going to be I think it's going to be a very intriguing matchup. Again, Coach, when you look at Coach Prime being a no-nonsense type guy, and I think Coach Rule is very similar. They got very similar styles. Obviously, Coach Prime is a little bit more flamboyant. He's going to use social media a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm seeing kids very interested in going to play for him, after what you saw him do at Jackson State. He was able to go to this, HBCU and recruit some 5 stars.
Yeah.
So now that you at a Power 5 school, I think he's going to be a force to reckon. He's going to be a force to reckon with out there. But to me, what Nebraska's advantage is tradition. Fan base obviously is phenomenal, and now it's just going to take the right guy to have them follow, have this team follow what he wants to do, and have them play that way when they get on the field.
Yeah,
because we haven't seen that. We just haven't seen that.
Absolutely. Always some great insight, great takes, good information coming out of Cluster Johnson,
Always.
2-time national champion. It's going to be interesting to watch where Keegan makes his decision. Of course, I followed him, and we do still follow him. We still love Nebraska kids, no matter where they go. The decisions that they make, for whatever reason that they make them, is for the betterment of them, hopefully to be able to get to the next level thereafter. So Cluster, always a pleasure, man. We look forward to having you back hopefully next week. The talks, man, there's a lot of stuff going on. There's going to be some playoff implications that are going to be happening. What say you, real quick, before we get out of here? What does the matchups look like for you, and do you think they got it right?
This is one of those first years to me where it's getting to the point where it's controversial, which means that they probably need to start expanding. But even when you expand, the same thing's gonna happen.
Yeah,
people.
Yeah.
Now it's gonna be, they made it 14 teams. Now it's gonna be, team 15 and 16
Right.
got in.
Right.
Over some of the teams that are in. But I don't know. TCU seems to be a team that I don't know. I don't see them as a super strong team, but they obviously won a lot. I see TCU as the weakest of the 4. I don't think that TCU would be able to beat Alabama, but I don't think Alabama should be rewarded for losing 2 games.
Said. Well said.
Yeah.
So yeah. I think that they did get it right.
All right.
It just would have been nice. It would have been nice to have TCU at least win that last game right there.
Yes, sir, man. That's good
yeah.
stuff. Good stuff, Sebo. Thank you so much for joining us on the block. We got to take a break right now on 93.7 The Ticket. We are on the block. We'll come back. We'll cross over with the old school crew when we get back after these messages. Right after this.
People always ask, what are Jake and Sip like when they're off the air? Well, the answer probably won't surprise you.
Hey, Jake, Honda's looking a little dirty.
Says the guy who's licensed
The ads look amazing. Maybe
wise guy.
Jake.
Book your appointment at crafttail.com. Decking the halls with boughs of holly sure sounds great until you're the one who has to do it. Take the stress out of your holiday parties this year and host your gatherings at Suite A Events by Mary Ellen's.
Sweet A is the perfect place for your year-end company parties or other large gatherings. Sweet A and Mary Ellen's can handle the food, the desserts, the decorations, and of course, those holiday spirits. See for yourself online at sweetaevents.com or at 27th and Pine Lake, right next to Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul.
Riddles Jewelry is excited to showcase the scintillating Levion Jewelry Collection. Levion is known for their love of reinventing fine designer jewelry through unique combinations of chocolate diamonds, vibrant gemstones, and precious metals. Levion and Riddles Jewelry, two family-owned businesses who put customers at the heart of what they do. No one colors your world better than Levion. So visit Riddles Jewelry today and receive $100 off any Levion purchase now through Christmas.
At Riddles Jewelry, Gateway Mall.
Hey, it's Sean Callahan, and football season is here, and there is one place that has all the games, plus great food and beer specials. Tanner's Bar and Grill at 30th and Yankee Hill. Whether it's Thursday night football, college football Saturdays, NFL Sundays, or Monday night football, there's a great view of the game from any seat with different food and drink specials every night. Try the Blue Ribbon Reuben Sandwich or the Prime Rib French Dip or any of their famous chicken wings. That's Tanner's Bar and Grill at 30th and Yankee Hill.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking guarantees a 40-hour work week year-round, and their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Rico here with HIS Auto Care at 70th and Van Dorn, letting you know HIS is a great place to bring your vehicle for service. With superior service bumper to bumper, we'll treat your vehicle like it's your mother's. It doesn't get any better than that. So call 402-488-8934 and HIS Auto will make you glad you did. 5% off, mention this ad, and for sure your mother will be proud you called. 402-488-8934, HIS Auto Care, 70th and Van Dorn. God bless you.
I'm Steve Carper, and I'm here to tell you that there's never been a better time to buy flooring. Whether you need carpet, wood flooring, ceramic tile, vinyl, area rugs, or custom blinds, you got to come to O Street Carpet. With our 12-month interest-free financing, you can do one room or your whole house and leave your holiday budget intact. And with our huge in-stock selection, you can buy today and we'll install it right away. 1732 O Street. We want to make you a customer for life.
There's a lot of realtors in Lincoln, but don't get overwhelmed by all the names. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realtor Group at Berkshire Hathaway Ambassador Real Estate is your go-to option when buying or selling residential and commercial property. Ben's team offers unbeatable customer service and promises to make the buying and selling process as stress-free as possible. Call Ben today at 402-419-6309 for all your real estate needs. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group at Berkshire Hathaway Ambassador Real Estate. No pressure, just professionalism.
This weekend only, you can save big on Beatrice Bakery's signature holiday product, Grandma's Fruitcake. Head over to BeatriceBakery.com and get 50% off the 3-pound Grandma's Fruitcake in a festive box or a beautiful holiday tin. You've got to try it. Premium nuts, decadent fruits, finished off with a trio of brandy, bourbon, and rum, tying it all together. And at this price, grab one for yourself and another as a gift. Beatrice Bakery, online at BeatriceBakery.com. Welcome to our world of yum.
Hey, it's Nicklin Hames from Nebraska Volleyball. I hate wasting time in practice, and I want to help you stop wasting your time when you're looking for an electrician. High Electric has been serving the area for over 30 years for both residential and commercial properties. They are experts in everything like remodeling, new additions, hot tub installation, and more. And they take jobs from Beatrice to Omaha and all towns, big or small, in between. Call them today at 402-466-6606 or learn more at high-electric.com.
This is Dan Friedman. Between 2010 and 2019, distracted driving caused more than 40,000 car crashes in Nebraska, resulting in over 14,000 severe injuries and deaths. Please keep your eyes on the road. If you have a smartphone, put it away while you're behind the wheel. It will help keep our community safe and secure. This message is brought to you by Friedman Law Offices, helping injured people. It's what we do. It's all we do. Find us at friedmanlaw.com today.
Back to On the Block with Strick and Nate on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back to On the Block 93.7 The Ticket. My name's Nate Brennan. He's the Husker Hall of Famer, 9-year NBA vet Eric Strickland. 402-464-5685. Sutter Haven text line, Honda Lincoln hotline. As always, we want to hear from you. Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. Sutter Haven Jewelers video stream. We want to hear from you on all of those platforms as well. Give us a like, give us a subscribe, give us a share, all that good stuff. We greatly appreciate all of you. We'll bring him in. DP, what's going on? Welcome.
I'm coming.
You're coming.
I'm coming. I'm bringing luggage.
Coming in hot.
That is Louis.
Coming in hot.
Yes, sir, DP.
Yeah, look, man. He
Talk
told,
to me,
he
man.
Yeah,
told
what's
him
up? What's going on?
Dion told him, I'm coming.
Ooh,
I'm
yeah.
coming.
yes, he did.
Boulder country.
1-11 ain't it.
That ain't
And
working.
That is not it. And a whole lot of y'all gonna hit the portal
Uh-huh.
because 1-11 isn't it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm cool with that. You know what? I'm bringing a better quarterback than I got here.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like,
So if you don't like it,
see ya.
he's got about 5 more coming, he said,
oh,
too.
he got more than that.
Yeah.
He got more than that. See, you messed around and gave Dion real money.
Some real money.
You gave him Power 5 money.
Right.
And a conference that is in flux.
That's looking for somebody to emerge.
Right? So
Yeah.
all the while, Kyle Whittingham over there rubbing his hands together, like, oh boy,
Mm-hmm.
we gonna sell some tickets.
Mm-hmm.
Like we got a dude over here.
They were up at 1 a.m. in the morning, some of the students, he was walking through the facilities at like 1 in the morning.
If
and they were up.
If you were on campus in Boulder, that's where you should have been.
Mm-hmm.
Where else would you be? What else should you be doing?
Yeah.
Especially if you part of the program and you trying to be a part of the program. Like whatever's going on, whatever's happening at 1 a.m. with Dion, that's where you need to be. Matter of fact, you should have got there early. Like you should have been there early. And for all them dudes, look at that. You can look at that room again. And there's a whole lot of dudes took the pictures. They know, oh man, the imposter syndrome is taking effect. You're not really a Power 5 football player, and it's
Mhm.
about to get real for you.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was all on board.
Jay, I got something.
It was all good.
Before we let him in, let's get a station ID.
I got something for you.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Jay, were you part of the transition to Big 12?
Yeah, I was in Big 12.
You got 1 year in there, right? Or 2?
2.
You got 2 in it. Okay.
Or actually 3.
You got 3 in it. Did you?
Yeah, because we
Oh, you guys went in 97 where basketball
No, we lost to Texas, then we won it, and then we lost to Texas again.
Okay.
Or we didn't make the Big 12 championship.
Yeah. So here's the thing. So then this part of it is going to be relevant. Nebraska is going to play Colorado next year. You've been in those games.
Right.
You know what it's looked like. We've sat in here and talked about it. And in ad nauseum. We went through all of it about all the stuff and the details and the coaches and all of that. Right now, you're going to see 2 programs that are in flux. One's finding an identity and one's trying to bring someone in to establish an identity. What is that going to look like next year? What do you think?
Yeah,
and what if Dion, what would you think if Dion gets this thing in 1 year turned around and we go in there and lay an egg? Like, how would that look? Yeah, I mean, it's not.
It wouldn't be good.
It
wouldn't be good. Really, to be honest, there's no difference.
I mean, I'm for rule. I'm ruling for rule.
Right. There's no difference between us and them right now.
We're basically in the same spot.
I mean, what are we going to?
What is that going to look like?
We're going to sit up here and brag because we got 3 wins and you got 1.
Yeah,
we're both losers.
Yeah.
Let's just be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, I know people don't want to hear it and all that. We both got 2 coaches that are coming in to try to establish an identity.
Mhm,
We
mhm.
don't have an identity.
Facts.
Here. We don't have a structure or we don't have a culture of work of work ethic, results, and all this stuff that goes into all that stuff. Neither do they. Now, what we do is probably have more money than them, obviously,
Mhm.
but that don't mean nothing.
Mhm.
Dion will get the money. He'll bring the money.
Mhm.
And what people don't understand is this: Dion doesn't need the money. See, when somebody's doing something and they don't need the money because there's coaches out there that have made more money than Deion, let's be honest, or businessmen that have more money than Deion. Deion's content with himself because number one, he knows he's the best of all time. There ain't no question. All right. It's Deion, everybody else at his position when he played. And so now he's doing something with a purpose, and that's a difference because he wants to. He saw everybody, if there's 10 coaches, Deion and maybe 2 others saw that's a tremendous opportunity to turn that bad boy around, and there's actually more I could do there than I could do at, let's say, Georgia Tech. 7 other ones said, you know what? I want to do it easy, and I don't want to go there. That's when you're in trouble. Because he didn't go and ask for how much money he could have got. You know what he did? He wants to make sure he can get his staff. He wants to make sure everybody that helped him build Jackson State up to where it is right now, in theory,
can come with him.
Well, can come with him, but then he's been paying them out of his own pocket. See, this is what people don't understand when they got on the internet and say, "Oh, he left all that." Well, if people would take the time and listen instead of hear, it's so much different. There was a podcaster interview, and he said he was asking Jackson State's uppers or whatever athletic director, okay, well, if we sold out this game, how come only the money came in for 28,000 of the 60,000 tickets? Where's that money? That affects his paycheck and his coach's paycheck, which is different than down at Memorial Stadium. The checks are the money's already there. You know what I mean? He talked about the support. Where's that at? Where's the booster? Where's the alumni? All the stuff that he was doing pro bono after he got, like his bonus checks and all that. It wasn't about him getting the money. It was about them staying up to their word. So the people that were actually benefiting off of Deion could actually pay the people that weren't getting paid. So this is why he's coming up there for that.
Yeah.
And see, that's why he was appealing to a place like Colorado, because if you can build at Jackson State, you can build at Colorado.
Facts.
Because Colorado has money people. They just don't support the program. Deion, and this is where some coaches lost some sleep the other night. Okay? Because you got a guy right there
he's coming.
He's personable to anybody. White, black, or indifferent. He can go to any household and have in any high school
real combos
and have the real combos and has the utmost respect because he's there to do it for the right reasons. So now he has crossover appeal, and he doesn't have to waver who he is. People got turned off, and I know that VJ and them had somebody on here. They're talking about where Deion says, "I'm coming." See, that's probably somebody that's never probably been around a lot of
real dogs and
African American. Here's what he means why he says, "I'm coming." I'm coming to change everything that you guys have done, and then it means we will be coming Saturdays
on the
and
field.
Thursdays or whatever. Everybody's trying to worry about what these little words. See, Deion doesn't have to be the press conference winner. That's who that dude is all the time. But this is where people misinterpret Deion, and this whether you want to say whether Nebraska never looked on him or not, he's extremely disciplined. Okay. Me and him did an autograph session together, and I got to talk to him for 5-10 minutes. My dad talked to him, knew him, just from being down in Florida, all that. Extremely disciplined, dedicated, thorough.
His film work is thorough. I've talked to him about that.
Thorough. And he will hold you accountable. And without any wavering. Right?
Well, he held Jerry Rice accountable. He held Joe Montana accountable. He held Eric Davis accountable. He held Ken Norton accountable. He held Charles Haley accountable. He held Troy Aikman accountable.
But he held himself accountable. But what he's going to do with these kids, he's going to hold you accountable, and he's going to give you a tremendous amount of opportunity to be successful, football or not. Being associated with Deion is going to help you. So just say Deion has a deal with Under Armour. Say you go to the NFL and say you were one of his best players and you just weren't good enough, injury history or whatever. You think Deion wouldn't have vouched for you if you say, man, I'm trying to get into the sports marketing business?
Yeah, he would.
You get what I'm saying? So it
goes beyond.
That's the difference.
Yeah. So that's good stuff. Listen, We could go on, but we know you guys are going to tap in and jump in.
I have a feeling they're going to get into it.
They're going to get in this. But I just wanted to touch on it.
First 15 format. Let's go.
It was only 5 minutes.
Yeah, but
no.
It
ain't
over.
The 410 to 425.
It ain't over.
I'm gonna wind him up and let him go, baby.
Yeah, thank you guys once again. This is On the Block. I'm Eric Strickland. That is my partner, Nate Doggy, and the old school crew, DP and Jay Foreman. We got to be out of here. It has been a great weekend. It is a great start to a Monday. We are On the Block. We'll see you tomorrow, 2 to 4, right here, same bad time, bad channel. Have a good day, folks. In the words of Rico, adios.
This is Lindsay Teal from the Nebraska golf team. If you're looking for a Christmas gift for the